Kira, after 15 years with TechVantage, we are restructuring your position, announced Marjorie Thompson, her voice reflecting a subtle sense of satisfaction. Denise from Human Resources sat opposite me in the small conference room, both of them displaying meticulously composed expressions of corporate regret. Denise indicated that the company is pursuing a new direction as she slid a manila folder across the table. We appreciate your contributions, but we are currently consolidating the research division within the product development team. I acknowledged the folder with a thoughtful nod, accepting it without examining its contents. The standard severance package would include 2 weeks of pay for each year of service, continued health coverage for a period of 3 months, and a compilation of career counseling resources that I may not utilize. I fully comprehend, I responded, my tone unwavering. These decisions are always challenging. Expressions of relief were evident on their faces. They had evidently anticipated expressions of sorrow, dissent, or frustration. As a 55-year-old woman, I found myself being marginalized in the tech industry, where youth is often valued more than experience. What they were unaware of was that I had been preparing for this moment for several weeks. Following the arrival of a misdirected email thread in my inbox last month, Marjorie requested that you clear out your desk by Friday. Gaining confidence from my apparent acceptance of the directive, please ensure that you return your keycard, company laptop, and phone prior to your departure. Your team will receive notification this afternoon. I am proud of my team members. I have personally recruited and mentored 6 exceptional engineers over the years. The same team that assisted in the development of the distributed processing algorithm now drives TechVantage's flagship product, AccountSphere, an accounting software utilized by over 40% of Fortune 500 companies. Certainly, I replied, standing up from my chair. Is there anything further you require? They exchanged glances, evidently taken aback by my composure. Marjorie was the first to recover. That concludes our discussion for the time being. I appreciate your efforts in creating this professional. While returning to my office, I observed the executive team convening in the glass-walled conference room. Through the transparent barrier, I observed CEO Victor Lawson gesturing animatedly during a PowerPoint presentation titled Q3 Revenue Projections. It was Victor Lawson who, at last year's industry conference, claimed credit for my algorithm, merely identifying me as a member of our research team. I closed my office door and retrieved my personal phone to send a text message. The event is occurring. Friday will be my final day. I received the response promptly. Optimal timing. The contracts are prepared and ready for review. We have scheduled a dinner for this evening to finalize the details. I smiled while observing the calendar on my desk. Today is Wednesday. On Friday, I will depart from TechVantage for the final time. What about Monday? Monday promises to be intriguing. That evening, I had the opportunity to meet Gregory Sullivan at Meridian, a distinguished restaurant located away from TechVantage's headquarters. In his capacity as the Chief Executive Officer of Precision Systems, the largest competitor of TechVantage, Greg recognized the importance of maintaining discretion. A private dining alcove was reserved in the rear, discreetly concealed from view by sophisticated Japanese screens. Greg remarked, shaking his head after we placed our order. They have indeed accomplished it. I had my suspicions, but dismissing the person who helped develop their core technology is surprising. Victor never comprehended the nature of my creation. I responded, taking a sip of my water. He observed the implementation, the user interface, and the marketing potential, however. What was his understanding of the underlying architecture? That was merely technical information to him. The irony was nearly impeccable. 3 months ago, I became aware that the patent application for my distributed processing algorithm had not been submitted by TechVantage's legal team, despite their previous assertions to the contrary when I inquired. They assured me that they would address the matter promptly. However, there was an aspect of their response that appeared unusual, leading me to review the company's internal documentation. At that point, I discovered a strategy memorandum detailing plans to assert the algorithm as technology developed by the company, without specific attribution to the inventor. They had intended to remove me from the project prior to securing the patent. fully aware that intellectual property created by employees generally belongs to the company. What TechVantage was unaware of is that I had already been independently working on enhancements to the algorithm utilizing my personal equipment. The enhancements, which significantly improved processing efficiency by 43%, were not addressed in my employment agreement. Last month, I submitted a patent application under my own name, thoroughly documented with timestamps and development logs that clearly indicate the work was completed outside of company hours. Greg's referral to a highly regarded intellectual property attorney led to the patent's exceptional efficiency in its grant. The paperwork has been finalized, Greg stated as he slid a folder across the table. Upon signing, Precision Systems will officially obtain exclusive licensing rights to your patent. The press release will be distributed on Monday morning, officially announcing your appointment as our new Chief Innovation Officer. I conducted a thorough review of the documents, having already committed to memory the key terms, which include a 7-figure signing bonus, significant equity in Precision Systems, and ongoing royalties from all products utilizing my algorithm. How do you anticipate Victor will react upon realizing what has transpired? Greg inquired, unable to conceal his satisfaction regarding the prospect. I expressed my greater concern for my team. The situation's consequences should not affect them. Greg acknowledged with a nod. We have already addressed this matter. We have available positions for all 6 individuals, should they express interest. The executive positions are accompanied by substantial salary increases. I completed the final page and closed the folder. With a single strategic decision, I successfully secured my future, safeguarded my team, and ensured acknowledgement for my contributions to new beginnings, Greg stated, lifting his glass. In acknowledgement of embracing one's own worth, I raised my glass and gently clinked it against his. The days of Thursday and Friday were characterized by a series of exit interviews, knowledge transfer meetings, and farewells to colleagues. I upheld my professional demeanor throughout the situation. Despite the circulation of rumors within the company, administrative assistants offered me empathetic looks in the hallways. Junior developers approached me with some hesitation, inquiring whether I would be willing to provide LinkedIn recommendations prior to my departure. I documented all information with great attention to detail. Every project, password, and process was meticulously documented. I am aware that TechVantage will soon recognize the level of thoroughness that is expected of me. My choice to forego comprehensive transition notes was not an act of kindness. It constituted evidence. There is evidence to support that I acted in good faith, whereas the company did not. In my final exit interview on Friday afternoon, Denise from HR conducted the standard checklist with a high level of efficiency. It is understood that any intellectual property created during your employment will remain the property of TechVantage, she stated. As she placed a non-disclosure agreement on the table, I responded in a cordial manner. Any work produced within the parameters of my employment, utilizing company resources during designated work hours. I placed slight emphasis on those qualifiers, however. Denise was preoccupied with checking boxes and did not take notice. Do you confirm that you possess no copies of proprietary company information? I have not taken anything that belongs to TechVantage, and I can confirm this truthfully. The patent was indeed my property. While I was packing personal items from my desk, including family photos, a collection of conference badges that represent 15 years of industry events, and the coffee mug my team gifted me last Christmas. Marjorie approached, leaning against the doorframe with a demeanor that suggested casualness. She inquired to ensure that all details were clear regarding your departure. Observing as I placed items into a cardboard box. With clarity, I responded, carefully enclosing a small award I had received for the algorithm that is now central to my plans. I recognized the irony as I meticulously positioned it between layers of tissue paper. Marjorie stated, Kira, it is important to understand that these restructuring decisions are not personal. Victor believes that the company should adopt a more dynamic direction. I raised my gaze to meet hers directly. I fully comprehend the situation. Business is a matter of professional engagement. My tone elicited a moment of hesitation from her. For a brief moment, a look of uncertainty appeared on her face. She promptly disregarded it. What opportunities might a 55-year-old woman facing impending unemployment explore? Will you be taking a leave of absence? She inquired, her voice carrying a feigned note of concern. I have already secured an opportunity. I responded. I will begin on Monday. Indeed, her expression was one of surprise. That is, quick? Is there anything of interest to discuss? I smiled. Extremely. The individual holds a position of leadership. I am looking forward to it with full enthusiasm. She acknowledged the statement with a nod, her thoughts already shifting to other concerns. I wish you the best of luck with that endeavor. As I exited TechVantage's glass headquarters for the last time, having returned my keycard and gathered my personal belongings, I paused to reflect on the building where I had dedicated 15 years of my professional career. From the top floor, I observed the executive conference room illuminated for an evening meeting, presumably focused on the redistribution of my responsibilities among younger, less experienced, and considerably more cost-effective staff members. Unbeknownst to them, within a span of less than 72 hours, the same room would be convening for an emergency crisis meeting. Monday morning began with clear and bright conditions. I meticulously donned my new charcoal suit, a professional ensemble I acquired specifically for this occasion. The Precision Systems town car arrived promptly at 7:30 a.m. to transport me to their headquarters, where I would commence my first day as Chief Innovation Officer. Greg let me know that the press release went live at 7 a.m. just as I was settling into my new corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows. Industry newsletters have begun to feature it. The communications team is currently monitoring reactions. The announcement was developed with strategic precision. Precision Systems has secured exclusive rights to a groundbreaking processing algorithm and is pleased to announce the appointment of its creator, Dr. Kira Jennings, as Chief Innovation Officer. The document provided a comprehensive overview of my background, highlighted my position as the sole inventor of the patented technology, and described Precision Systems' integration of the algorithm into the next generation of products. It is essential to note that any company currently utilizing the technology will be required to negotiate licensing agreements with Precision Systems in the future. At exactly 9:15 a.m., I received the initial text from my previous team at TechVantage. The situation is currently disorganized. Could you please provide details regarding your actions? The message was from Miguel, my lead developer. I responded with a smile, advising, please check your personal email. All 6 individuals have offers pending. At TechVantage headquarters, located 8 miles away, the scheduled executive meeting on Monday morning was experiencing a significant transformation. Based on Miguel's detailed updates throughout the morning, Victor arrived at the office to find the company's general counsel and chief financial officer awaiting him at his door, both appearing visibly distressed. Their inboxes simultaneously received the industry announcement, prompting immediate alerts. By 9:30 a.m., what was expected to be a routine start-of-week meeting had transformed into an emergency crisis session. Board members participated via remote communication. The legal team was diligently reviewing my employment contract and the documentation related to the development of the algorithm. Miguel reported that they are retrieving all files associated with your name. The research division has delivered all the servers for the technology team to conduct an analysis. I envisioned the scenario clearly, with Victor pacing the conference room and seeking explanations from Marjorie in the legal department. The stock would likely be reacting to the news at this point. Investors are generally averse to uncertainty, and the announcement has generated a significant amount of it. At 10:45 a.m., I received an email directly from Victor, the urgency evident in his message. Kira, it seems there has been a misunderstanding. I would appreciate it if you could contact me at your earliest convenience to discuss this matter further. I have forwarded it to the legal team at Precision Systems without providing a response. By noon, there was considerable speculation circulating within the industry. TechVantage's stock has experienced a decline of 7% since the market opened, whereas Precision Systems has observed a 12% increase. 3 distinct technology journals have requested interviews with me regarding the strategic upheaval that has impacted the accounting software industry. Greg inquired about my well-being as he entered my office while I was getting settled. I provided an honest response, confirming the information. After 15 years of observing others receive acknowledgement for my contributions and being advised to appreciate merely having a position at the table, I am now, at last, receiving the recognition I deserve. The new executive assistant arrived at the door. Dr. Jennings, the development team is prepared to meet with you in the main conference room. She exhibited a moment of hesitation. The CEO of TechVantage has made 4 calls within the past hour. I informed him that I would be in meetings throughout the day. Our legal team will contact you later this week to discuss licensing options. As I approached my inaugural meeting in the role of Chief Innovation Officer, my phone vibrated with another update from Miguel. The board has convened an emergency session. Victor appears to be on the verge of a significant outburst. Postscript. My team and I hereby accept your offer. What is the anticipated start date for this initiative? By Tuesday morning, the complete ramifications of my departure had become evident to all at TechVantage. Their flagship product, AccountSphere, depended exclusively on my algorithm to analyze the extensive datasets that provided it with a competitive advantage. In the absence of licensing rights to my patent, they are confronted with 2 equally undesirable alternatives: engage in negotiations with Precision Systems or undertake the reconstruction of their core technology from the ground up. This process may necessitate several years and a substantial financial investment in development costs. Victor has scheduled an all-hands meeting for 2 p.m. Miguel sent a text message. It marked his final day at TechVantage. He and the other members of my former team will be commencing their positions at Precision Systems next Monday. There are indications that they may pursue legal action against you. I have forwarded his message to our legal department, which responded promptly. Allow them to attempt. The quality of your documentation is outstanding. Development logs, timestamps, and personal equipment usage have all been clearly established. We have made the necessary preparations for this scenario. In the meantime, I was acclimating to my new role with notable ease. The respect I experienced at Precision Systems was significantly different from my final years at TechVantage. Others attentively considered my contributions during meetings. Male colleagues did not steal my ideas and pass them off as their own. My age and experience were regarded as valuable assets rather than drawbacks. During our afternoon briefing, Greg informed me that the engineering team is in the process of implementing your efficiency improvements. Initial testing indicates a performance improvement of 51%, surpassing our initial projections. I acknowledged that I had several refinements that I had not communicated to TechVantage. Upon learning of the intention to eliminate my position, I found no justification for continuing to deliver my highest quality of work. With a satisfied smile, Greg remarked, "Their loss is our gain." This morning, we received the initial licensing inquiry. We have not received any communication from TechVantage at this time. They remain in a state of denial. However, they are receiving information from Dataflow Systems. Concerns exist about the risk of falling into the trap. At 3:30 p.m., Miguel provided a comprehensive report on Victor's all-hands meeting. The CEO endeavored to convey confidence, assuring the staff that TechVantage would robustly defend our proprietary technology. The anxiety in the room was evident. A number of employees have proactively updated their LinkedIn profiles, recognizing the company's potential vulnerabilities. According to Miguel, Marjorie appeared to be on the verge of fainting when someone inquired directly whether they had failed to secure the patent. Victor concluded the question period prematurely following that. As of Wednesday, the repercussions within the industry had escalated. 2 significant clients have reached out to Precision Systems regarding a potential transition from AccountSphere, expressing concerns about TechVantage's capacity to sustain the product in the absence of the algorithm's creator. Our stock has increased by an additional 8%, whereas TechVantage has experienced a continued decline. I received a call from Denise in Human Resources, the same individual who had presented my severance package just days prior. "Kira," she commenced, her tone deliberately professional, "I am reaching out to discuss the matter concerning your patent. It appears there may have been a miscommunication regarding ownership rights." "I believe there is no misunderstanding," I responded in a composed manner. "The terms of my employment agreement explicitly indicate that intellectual property created during my personal time and utilizing my own resources is retained by me." The patent documentation unequivocally verifies this information. Victor would appreciate your consideration of a meeting to discuss potential options. I responded by directing all discussions to Precision Systems' legal department. They would likely be pleased to arrange a meeting to discuss the licensing terms. The lack of response on the other end conveyed significant meaning. Ultimately, Denise exhaled deeply. I will relay that information. That afternoon, I conducted my inaugural formal presentation to the board of directors at Precision Systems, where I outlined our technology roadmap with my algorithm as the focal point. As I positioned myself confidently at the head of the table, rather than remaining in the background as I had at TechVantage, I noticed Greg's approving nod. By Friday, merely 1 week after my departure from TechVantage, the company had entered a state of full crisis management. Their stock experienced a decline of 23% since Monday's opening bell, prompting concerned inquiries from significant investors. Industry analysts were releasing speculative articles with titles such as, "Can TechVantage survive the algorithm crisis?" and discussing how a single strategic misstep could potentially jeopardize a technology giant's entire future. My professional network informs me that Victor has finally acknowledged the gravity of the situation to the board. TechVantage would have to either get a license for my algorithm from Precision Systems, which could be very expensive and hurt their profits, or start rebuilding AccountSphere from scratch, making sure that none of the technology covered by my patent is used. The organization has commenced the interview process for a new development team. During our video call on Friday, Miguel communicated his upcoming transition to Precision Systems. Victor asserts that they can replicate the functionality within a 6-month timeframe. I found it amusing. The initial algorithm required 3 years of refinement. Even with a comprehensive understanding of the problem domain, Miguel concurred with this statement. Your team's simultaneous posting of resignation letters indicates a lack of seriousness about the timeline. The loss of knowledge is substantial. On that afternoon, the attorneys representing TechVantage initiated contact with Precision Systems to discuss potential licensing arrangements. The legal team, in accordance with the strategy we had formulated, provided a response with terms that were technically equitable yet strategically challenging. The compensation will be set at 3 times the standard industry licensing rate, along with a public acknowledgement of my contribution as the inventor of the technology. They are likely to hesitate at the acknowledgement rather than the expense. During our review of the response in his office, Greg made a prediction. Victor's pride prevents him from acknowledging that he was responsible for the departure of the individual who developed their core technology. In that case, they will need to undertake a rebuilding process. I responded, each day they invest in attempting to replicate my work represents another day we solidify our competitive advantage in the market. On the following Monday morning, 10 days after my abrupt dismissal, I conducted the inaugural meeting with my newly formed innovation team, which comprised Miguel and 5 other engineers from TechVantage. We charged the atmosphere in the room as we outlined the next development of my algorithm. Anita, a former team member, expressed that this is the ideal way to conduct development meetings. At TechVantage, we dedicated a significant portion of our time to elucidating fundamental concepts to executives who were often unresponsive. The distinction lies in being valued versus being perceived as replaceable. I responded, we acknowledge your expertise here. As we concluded the productive session, my assistant entered the room. Dr. Jennings, I would like to inform you of a significant development regarding TechVantage. The board has just announced an urgent leadership transition. Victor Lawson is resigning from his position, effective immediately. The news spread quickly. Shortly thereafter, industry publications began to report that the board of TechVantage had expressed a lack of confidence in Victor's leadership, in light of the patent oversight that jeopardized the company's flagship product. Marjorie Thompson was also absent, along with the head of legal, who did not adequately secure the patent. That evening, I received an unexpected email from Richard Donovan, the newly appointed interim CEO of TechVantage. In contrast to Victor's urgent communication from the prior week, this message was clear and courteous. Congratulations, Dr. Jennings, on your new position. I have been engaged to assist TechVantage in addressing the current situation. I would like to engage in a discussion regarding a mutually beneficial licensing arrangement for your patented technology. We are ready to recognize your contributions publicly and address the oversights of prior management appropriately. Could you please confirm your availability for a meeting next week? I have forwarded the email to Greg, including a brief note indicating that Phase 1 is complete. His response was prompt. Your execution was executed with great skill. The board is acknowledging your initial significant achievement for Precision Systems. It appears that Tech Vantage is beginning to understand the significant importance of valuing innovation and the contributions of innovators. 3 months following my departure from Tech Vantage, I found myself on stage at the National Technology Innovation Conference, ready to deliver the keynote address. The audience comprised industry leaders, technology journalists, and aspiring developers, many of whom were now familiar with my story. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Kira Jennings, Chief Innovation Officer at Precision Systems and the creator of the distributed processing algorithm that has transformed data handling across various industries. As announced by the conference organizer, the applause was considerable as I made my way to the podium. The impact of just a few months can be significant. Last year, I attended the same conference as a member of the Tech Vantage delegation, where I was seated at the back while Victor delivered a presentation on his company's innovations. I expressed my gratitude as I began, observing the engaged audience. Today, I would like to discuss the concept of innovation ownership and the significance of accurately assessing intellectual contributions, irrespective of their origin. The presentation provided a comprehensive overview of the technical aspects of my algorithm while also addressing the broader issues of recognition and respect within the technology sector. I highlighted the significance of organizations safeguarding their innovators instead of perceiving them as interchangeable assets. Several young women engineers approached me at the reception, seeking my advice and mentorship. One individual, who is just under 30 years of age, shared that your narrative has significantly influenced the way in which they document their work. I began maintaining comprehensive records of my development process during my personal time. I responded intelligently. It is essential to safeguard your innovations. At the conclusion of the evening, I reviewed my phone and discovered an alert regarding industry news. Tech Vantage has officially announced the licensing agreement with Precision Systems, recognizing me by name as the creator of the algorithm. Their stock has stabilized, albeit at a considerably lower valuation compared to the period prior to my departure. Exactly 1 year after receiving the directive to clear out my desk, I found myself in my expansive office at Precision Systems, examining the quarterly innovation report. Under my leadership, the company successfully launched 3 innovative products based on my algorithm, securing a substantial market share from Tech Vantage and other competitors. The sound of a knock at my door interrupted my analysis. Greg was holding a bottle of champagne along with 2 glasses. He expressed his congratulations on the anniversary while placing the glasses on my desk. The board has requested that I convey this news to you personally prior to the public announcement. Precision Systems has officially exceeded Tech Vantage in market valuation for the first time in the company's history. I smiled, experiencing not triumph but a sense of quiet satisfaction. This is the outcome of appropriately valuing innovation. As Greg poured the champagne, my assistant presented a polished envelope. Enclosed was an invitation to present at the annual Leadership Summit hosted by Women in Technology. The subject of discussion is owning your intellectual value, the impact of proper documentation on industry transformation. Greg remarked that you have become somewhat of an icon. As he observed the invitation, the narrative regarding the executive who failed to appreciate her assets until they were lost has evolved into a cautionary lesson within corporate boardrooms. Richard Donovan, who continued to serve as CEO of Tech Vantage following the crisis, instituted comprehensive reforms in the company's approach to recognizing and rewarding innovation. Their recent policies regarding intellectual property protection and inventor recognition were reportedly based on the program I established at Precision Systems. It was never a matter of revenge, I stated, lifting my glass in a toast. The focus was on recognition, demonstrating to the industry that innovation is not without attribution. It originates from individuals who merit genuine recognition. In acknowledgement of the occasion, Greg consented, gently clinking his glass against mine. As the afternoon sunlight illuminated my office, I contemplated my professional journey. At the age of 56, I have finally attained what has eluded me throughout my career. Not only success but also recognition. My name is now permanently associated with the algorithm that has transformed an industry. Precisely where it rightfully belongs.